Welcome back to the Dave Stevens Show here at Radio Row, and I've got a special treat because I got a buddy here I haven't seen in a long time, a father, a broadcaster, former football player who's overcome so much, Ryan Leaf. Ryan, it's great to see you, man.
Good to see you, Dave, man.
What I love best now is that people don't really talk about the past anymore. You've overcome that. We could sit there all day. Is it nice that you're not that same person and people talk about you for you and your family and everything in football?
It is. And then I go and do something stupid yesterday, and I yelled at the team doctor for the Chargers.
Oh, no, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so listen, I don't like the guy. You know, I think the unethical things he did around Junior Seau's death is something that he should be held accountable for. And my wife and I knew we were going to see him when we were here, and we were going to take the high road, and I was all ready, and he's the first person I saw yesterday.
Is that the guy in the red suit?
I don't know.
Okay.
And it was a test, Dave, and I failed it miserably. Sometimes you just have to be humbled in that way. So it's given people an opportunity to talk about my past, but it's also allowed me then to take responsibility and be like, you know what? But I still, I went to bed and slept 11 hours last night, so I think it's okay.
But see, that's the Ryan Landry that is, or the Ryan Landry. I work with him at the Veterans Thing. That's the Ryan Leaf. That's now.
That's a different one,
You've evolved. You've become that. So I don't want to dwell on that.
No.
You can go look if there's video. I don't care. Anyway, how is fatherhood?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm an old dad. I'm going to be 50 this year, and I have a 2-year-old daughter, and so that's been really interesting going about my business there. I'll be 65 when she graduates high school, so I learn something new every day, and I think that's good. It allows you to mess up and still be a good dad, teach lessons, and try to be the best version of yourself you can be.
And that's why you've evolved, and I think that's why you've had the success that many that have failed don't get to do. So what's going on with the broadcasting career? I've seen you, we were at ESPN, you've been everywhere. What's going on now?
Yeah, it's been a fun year. So I call games I'm the number one analyst for the CW, call games for the Pac-12. We'll continue to do that for the next few years since they just signed a long-term deal with them. And then I do NFL games for Westwood One, the national broadcast. I called my first college game this year. That was pretty cool. And I still do NFL radio on Sirius XM, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, it keeps me busy. The center and the foundation of what we do as our company keeps rolling out is just to be of service and give back to others. And I'm out speaking anywhere from 25 to 30 times a year. And then my work with the Menninger Clinic down in Houston.
Now, how is that when you speak? Because a lot of times, if you're talking about a death of a loved one and stuff, you're pulling that Band-Aid off all the time. Is it tough to go back and talk about those kind of things since you've evolved so much?
I mean, it's part of it, right? There's a catharsis to when you unload it. When you give it away, you kind of get this. The trade-off is you get this unchaotic, peaceful life from doing that. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's emotional, and sometimes you're tired at night after you go do it and everything like that. But I also think it's incredibly purposeful. And, the peer-to-peer aspect of things is really important to me. People that are going through something that I went through, something that you're going through currently, you have and are able to relate to one another about it and continue on and know that, there is hope. That's all this ever wants to be, is it wants to give you and attribute hope to the future for you.
Do you get this question a lot? If you had a chance to talk to the young Ryan Leaf, what would you tell him? I mean, is that like a standard stupid question?
No, I did it. Derek Jeter's Player Tribune came to me and asked me to do an article, a letter to my younger self, and I wrote that years ago. And it's pretty much stood the test of time in terms of, you really can't change anything, and you wouldn't change anything because you have to go through the things you went through to be who you are now, and that's the best possible version of yourself. And so I think the biggest part of that article was don't be a dick.
Well, I just had David Meltzer here yesterday. His new book is Don't Do Business with a Dick.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the title of the book. He thinks it's going to sell, but that's the thing where you have overcome so much. You still have the haters on social media and stuff like that, but let's talk football. Okay, so you have to cover college, you have to cover pros. Is there a tough differentiation? Because the pros will stick around now. College players, they're one and done and off to get paid higher.
Not only are they one and done, but there's 130 of them maybe in duplicate numbers, and it's difficult. The NFL, you have 53 players. You pretty much know who the starting guys are if you're paying enough attention. And so it's easier to call that game. It's more streamlined. It flows faster. But listen, being on campuses, kind of the atmosphere, even though there's a lot of money involved, there still feels like there's a real innocence to it. I love the college atmosphere and the ambiance when we're on campus and calling a game in those stadiums.
And as far as the pro level and the games change so much, do you like the changes, or did you like to see some more changes?
I'd like it to be more streamlined like it was. I think everybody knows it's a physical game. I don't think the NFL's fooling anybody by saying we're trying to make it safer. You don't make it safer and then enable a dynamic kickoff where people are smashing even more now. So I think 75% more kickoff returns this year. So I think that I think what they understand is they need to keep the money makers healthy, the quarterbacks, because they're the ones everybody. And so that's important to keep those guys healthy. And so that's why you've kind of taken away the physicality of the game. I wish that was more of it, because I think guys know now that they're playing a very physical game and there can be consequences and repercussions from that. They're still going to play it regardless.
Do you worry, though? I mean, I'm friends with Jim McMahon. I've seen how his brain has changed with the new things that they can do. But do you worry yourself, especially with kids, and that any of this is ever going to come to fruition with you? You got banged around. You didn't have a lot of good offensive lines, so you got banged up a little bit. So does that ever in the back of that mind?
It's happened. I had a brain tumor removed, in 2011. No one in my family has had substance use disorder symptoms, which I did. Impulsive nature, that's all symptoms of CTE. So I believe I'm living with it, because it cannot be diagnosed until you're dead. And so if you understand it and go and attack it that way, especially with your spouse, the treatments, the therapy, and things like that, it's almost freeing in a way, because you're trying to do something, and it still rears its ugly head. Behavioral issues, impulsiveness, like I talked about. So we have to be aware of that and keep up to speed with it and try to do our best. And but knowing it is a big part of it. And I've worked really closely with Chris Nowinski and the Concussion Legacy Foundation, and they're really trying to isolate a protein in the brain to study it, so we can diagnose before someone's passed away.
Right.
And if we can diagnose before that, and someone can be diagnosed with it and know that they have to deal with it, I think that will go a long way to protecting the lives of former athletes or combat veterans or people who have had to deal with traumatic brain injuries.
Especially, you were teammates with Junior Seau. I mean, some of the tragedies that we overlook it's horrible.
It is horrible, and that was a big reason why I got after that doctor. He was his supposed friend, and he was out drinking with him and still prescribing him pain meds and Ambien after he drove his car off a cliff trying to attempt suicide. So I just, the enabling aspect of things, when I work with a ton of former athletes, they have to know their life is precious, and the idea that even though they're going through something and they're really fearful that they're going through something, and that sounds worse than actually telling somebody that then getting the help that you need, that's the problem, that's the stigma, and we've got to remove it.
All right, so if people want to hire you to speak, what's the best way to follow you on Instagram or Twitter or website? You should hire his story, man. His story is amazing.
I'm on all socials. My DMs are open there at Ryan D. Leaf, and then our website's theryandleaf.com, and that you can really see what we do from a company standpoint.
All right, old dad, it was great to see you.
You too.
Keep smiling, keep evolving,
Thanks,
and get on to the next one, my friend.
All right,
All
everybody.
right.
Have a good Super Bowl.
My buddy Ryan Leaf, it is so great. It sucks that we only get to see each other every couple of years, but such a great, tremendous story and an even better human being. So you're watching the Dave Stevens Show right here at Radio Row. Continue to follow us. We got more coming up soon.
Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events wants you to come party with us. We're bringing the fun to the Houston Bay Area. Stay tuned for all of our incredible events throughout the year, featuring amazing food and drinks, live entertainment, special guests, and so much more. Fun, new, different. Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events is where you want to be. So come party with us. It's more than a yacht. It's serendipity.
Everybody, Dave Stevens here for iTattoo. As Christopher Martin and I have traveled across the country, we've been talking to baseball players who have body art. Now, people think that body art can be shameful, but these guys have some amazing stories, some beautiful art designs on their arms, and we had a chance to talk to a few of them at the Baseball All-Star Game in Atlanta this year. Javi, you've got some great body art. Just tell me a little bit about what's behind some of these on your arm.
A lot of pain, honestly. I'll start here. This is just for my friend group. All of us have one.
or all of us. Some of them are still trying to get it.
This is one of my other favorite ones. It's just, you know, two hands represent me and my brother.
It's for my family. Kind of goes my dad, mom, brother, and then my younger brothers. Against all odds, got this after I got drafted.
Talk about showcasing. You have got some great art on your arms, and I just wanted to know what those stories might be behind this side. This side, we got a awesome-looking owl over here and some
Love the outdoors, so got a big outdoor sleeve. A couple tattoos my dad has that I just recreated.
So there you have it, some of the stories behind the body art from these Major League Baseball players and the future stars. So for more information about iTattoo, please check us out at our website or reach out to Nathan and Christopher.